Welcome everyone, and this video is different, and I'll be doing a live stream this Friday on why I made it on November 12th, 2021, 7 p.m. Central Time. And I hope you all can join, and I'll leave a link for the channel for you to tune in. Please like and share to show as many people as possible for me, and for me to be able to do this more. Let's just get into it. This is probably my most controversial video that has been made for this channel, and this will probably put me in Facebook jail and YouTube jail, but it needs to be said.
Film. But no, they were defending him last night. Now that they know who it is, they're still defending him. This guy is going to become a hero to the right because he went to a place that he had no reason to be. He brought a gun and he murdered people. He's a terrorist. He's a domestic terrorist. And for that reason, he's going to be a hero on the right.
Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old militia member who shot and killed 2 protesters and wounded 1 other in Kenosha, Wisconsin, is now someone that we're learning more and more about. We're learning more details about his history, his past, what motivated him to literally cross state lines with a firearm that he had no business having.
Why did I think of this title? It has to do with one main thing: media. Media has been wanting to do this for some time now, but they are acting on it since Trump's administration from 2016 to 2020. We had the Russians helping Trump out for almost his whole entire term. The media is like, oh, we got him. But there was no evidence. Millions of dollars spent for this case to try to find something, but they only found hush money for a prostitute, and it was before his term in office. Just recently, they have released that the Obama administration has used this the FISA Act on Trump's campaign, but without reasonable cause. This was covered by Fox News. A huge part of writing the narrative, or literally trying to make a name for themselves, or I just really don't know what they're doing at this point, because they have gotten in too deep. And for the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Winsome Sears, and by the way, her speech is phenomenal and I recommend listening to it. This woman terrifies them. She's the exact opposite of what they have been portraying, because she is the perfect person to break down what they are building. CNN and all the news channels that have had their agenda for all the movements won't show her on their platform because it destroys everything they have built. Mrs. Sears mentions that there has nothing changed from the civil rights movement, and she is basically telling the left and media that agrees with that to cut the BS, because she owns her water fountain. She can go to any restaurant because she's an American. She is a migrant. She's a veteran of the Marines. She is colored, but does not mean anything that she's colored. She is an American. She is proof of the American dream, and this terrifies the left and media because this destroys their agenda, which therefore you don't see her on their platforms with her winning speech or any light shown on her.
I'm telling you that what you are looking at is the American dream. The American dream.
You wouldn't have seen that speech, Juan, if you were watching CNN and MSNBC, who just chose not to air it. Don't you think that deserved airtime? That's a pretty notable achievement there for Winsome Sears.
Oh, yeah. I think Glenn Youngkin has been elected governor of Virginia, and Dana Bash, this is the announcement that Joe Biden will not be happy to hear. And it also shows how incredibly divided this country is.
Incredibly divided Joe Biden isn't happy to hear, because he and other very high-profile Democrats went to try to help Terry McAuliffe.
Now, to the next evidence of media needing to be held accountable is that Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm not going to be getting into specifics of what they have been doing, what has happened, because everybody really knows because how media has covered it so well. So let me get this straight. So destroying people's businesses is very patriotic in the media's eye, but for Rittenhouse and others trying to protect the local businesses are vigilantes and terrorists. Look for problems that we have been dealing with. Let's say, for example, police, they're good apples and bad apples, but people only focus on the bad apples. But yet, very few police departments were destroyed, but local businesses were looted, caught on fire, destroyed. It was a time that people took advantage of, majority of them, but there is people that were advocating for change. And if the people that were taken advantage of was getting caught for stealing and whatnot, they were protesting. So you're saying this here is very patriotic. All the people that are destroying people's property and whatnot, that's protesting, that's peaceful protesting. And then yet you have Rittenhouse and a few other members that are protecting people's local businesses terrorists, because media is calling them terrorists because they're not allowing people to destroy things. Because Target and big corporations, they were burnt down. For them, that's just a few bucks out of their pocket, and they can decide to build back or not. Local businesses, once they were being pushed to stay closed through this pandemic, still to this day. And they're already struggling because of the pandemic, and businesses were burnt down and destroyed. They don't have much insurance to bring it back because how badly it is to get it back. Well, they put their blood, sweat, and tears into what they have created. And then once they do that, they have to close up shop because they don't have the funding to rebuild like what these corporations do. Here are some clips from the hearing of the Rittenhouse case, and the victims that are being questioned are admitting that Rittenhouse did self-defense.
It wasn't until you pointed your gun at him, advanced on him, with your gun, now your hands down, pointed at him, that he fired, right?
Correct.
Oh, shit! That's it! Directed verdict. Directed verdict on all the murder charges. Kyle knows.
Yeah.
Directed verdict on the murder charges.
He just exhaled. Kyle he looks like he's gonna cry.
How do you not acquit after that?
Look at Bigger. Look at Big Boy.
Oh, big boy. Oh.
2, that the alleged victim, Joseph Rosenbaum, made death threats to Kyle.
You and my client were present when Mr. Rosenbaum threatened you and Kyle, correct?
Correct.
And he specifically said if he got either of you alone, he would expletive kill you.
That's correct.
Any doubt about that?
No doubt about that at all.
Told the FBI that?
Yes.
And that was right after, I'm gonna get his name wrong, Dustin had put out dumpster fire?
Correct. It was about 20 to 30 minutes before we headed south and the shooting started.
Now, this testimony was so damning and so damaging to the prosecution's case that the prosecutor started challenging their own witnesses' credibility.
Now, here's a clip that I will let you guys listen to for a little bit. It's from CNN. This lady is basically talking about like if he placed a self-defense card and whatnot.
You're going to say this is extremely prejudicial, but there's not much they can do about it. Because remember, if Kyle Rittenhouse gets off on this, if he's found not guilty, they cannot retry him.
Yeah, there's not an appeal for the prosecution. That's not how it works.
Exactly. And so it's interesting. I think, one of the things to remember is why is this even coming up, right? Rittenhouse is going to say self-defense. He's going to say, I was so afraid from all of these looters and arsonists. But Evidence 101 tells you that is not going to fly. And that's why this evidence shouldn't have been let in, because whether someone was setting fire to a building nearby should have no bearing on whether Kyle Rittenhouse was afraid for his life and thought that it was okay to shoot that person, right? That those two things don't go together. So I think this trial is going to be extremely fraught. The judge has also decided that the defense can let in evidence that the police on the scene nearby told Rittenhouse and others, we appreciate you guys. So you can tell this is going to just be fraught from top to bottom, and jury selection begins Monday.
The fact that, I don't know where that is on the gun, but the fact that the DNA isn't there, everybody thinks DNA is this thing that proves everything. You'd agree that we can see he's actually touching the firearm.
What is your question?
Well, the fact that it's not present, and I don't know where on the gun that is, but the fact that DNA is not present in any of the areas of the firearm for Mr. Huber doesn't mean that he didn't actually touch it.
Correct. Whether DNA was detected from an individual or not does not mean that they did not touch that item.
Evidence 101 tells you that is not going to fly.
And if he is found not guilty, the case will not be opened back up. That's how a case works. And when you have people that were witnessing, and one that got shot by Rittenhouse admits he did self-defense, destroys the whole case by that single answer.
Now, let's talk about the defense. The defense seems to just be watching the trial like we all are. They're not objecting to really anything. They're just letting everything kind of go fast and loose because they got a simple self-defense claim here. Now, you'll see most of us attorneys are a little frustrated that the defense is kind of just letting everything go roughshod, but that's okay because they still, I believe, have a winning case. Now, remember at the beginning of this video when I showed you the prosecutor saying that Kyle chased down Rosenbaum and then shot him kind of like indiscriminately? Well, it's interesting that all of their witnesses, all of the prosecution's witnesses, have rebutted the prosecutor's opening statement. So at this point in time, I don't know where this trial is going to go from here. When you have all your witnesses saying that the kid acted in self-defense, why are we here?
That's a very good question. And there's two-part answer for that question. And that is the media and the government being so stubborn to put on the show to put a kid, now an adult, into prison for being a terrorist, quote-unquote terrorist, that they have been claiming him to be a domestic terrorist, a vigilante, and whatnot. But yet, he did self-defense, debunks the whole narrative, and you don't really see that in there. Because how the hearing is going so far, he's going to win. Because if he doesn't, it's obviously that they were trying to put an example down. But yeah, there's a clip when one of the people that were shot by him, when he was shot, he said Rittenhouse was doing self-defense. And here's the defendant, here's another clip.
How do you not acquit after that? Look at Bigger. Look at Big Boy. Oh, Big Boy. Oh.
Big guy is covering his face. He's like, oh my God, we lost this. There's no way from making a new 180 to get to what they're trying to do. And for the why are we here part, it's from a video that I've been watching. I left a comment, and the answer to that is that the media is trying to create the narrative, of course, because of the first, we're calling Kyle a terrorist by crossing state borders, which, if you look at it, he only traveled 30 miles from his hometown to the riot, and there's other people that are driving hundreds of miles over to destroy people's property and local businesses and whatnot. Media is at fault for trying to create the narrative and being the first to do it. That is what is wrong about the media, and they need to be accountable for the people's lives they have ruined. People need to stay local news, and for national news, it needs to be national, not put local news on national news for publicity and views, which they're a corporation, so they need views and sponsorships. But anyways, they need to be held accountable for their actions. I've been looking and looking, but there was, and I couldn't find it, but there was this woman reporter going off on script on CNN and calling Rittenhouse a terrorist because of crossing state lines to go to riots. There is a tweet from The Guardian that they have pulled, and it's from Ayanna Pressley, a 17-year-old white supremacist domestic terrorist drove across state lines armed with an AR-15. He shot and killed 2 people. Who had assembled to affirm the value, dignity, and worth of black lives. Fix your damn headlines, end quote. Well, the people that were attacking him, one of them was literally trying to progress people that had weapons to shoot him, and which, therefore, he was attacking Kyle, a kid, and using a skateboard to lunge at him to take his gun, which of course probably would have taken the gun and shooting him, but we just don't know because that's not how it ended. And then we have other people that have been trying to go for him, in which on the bench or at the hearing, they admit Rittenhouse was in self-defense. There's one clip that they have been playing over and over, and the person that was recording it thought he said, "I work for the police," but he kept on replaying it and found out what he actually said. It was right after the shooting, and Rittenhouse is running to the police. He says, "I'm looking for the police so they can get this all situated." Now, the final part of this video is the J6 rally. Was overhyped by media, and this is a sign that, again, need to be held accountable for their encouragement. Here we have a reporter that keeps going and on and on and on, not really showing the crowd. The crowd is very small. They thought that they would be overwhelmed like what happened at the Capitol.
Rally in support of the January 6 rioters is still underway in Washington. So far, the crowd is not quite as large as organizers predicted in the days leading up to the rally. Recent online chatter seemed to coax many into avoiding the event.
Let's just, if you can just come with me just 1 second. Hold on just 1 second. Yep. I just want to, something may be going on over here. Let's just take a look. So again, we've got the riot police who are coming along this fence line here. I just want to take a look to see. They seem to be bending down. They may be looking at something over here. Let's just take a look. Hold on 1 sec. Okay, looks like he's just fixing some stuff on his equipment. I was concerned for a moment he may have found something inside the barrier, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
There's a other part of it that a police officer bends down. She's like, oh, there's something happening. He's either probably tying his shoe, picking up litter someone dropped, and her hoping it's a weapon of some sort. It's just stupidity. It's ignorance. This here needs to stop, and people are ignorant for eating this up. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. I hope you all watch the whole entire video to get at least a little bit of opinion on what's going on. I'm just stating the facts of what is going on. I have put a little bit of opinion in for just what the stupidity is, because for domestic terrorism on the dictionary of almost everything, it is a committing of terrorist acts in the perpetrator's own country against their fellow citizens. They're thinking of if you're attacking one of another, that is terrorism, which that is somewhat correct. And when you're destroying someone's property, that is a terrorist act. But they're just cherry picking. They're being very biased about it. But it really needs to be said. So I hope you all enjoy. Please tune into the live stream that's coming out this November 12th. I'll be live on there talking to everyone. Hopefully you have some questions for me. And I will be talking about the mandates and whatnot for what the next video is going to be. It's going to be mandates to see how that goes. I'll try to interview people to see how that goes. But anyways, have a wonderful day. I'll have all the links to all the videos and all the articles that I have been reading for accountability, so I won't be fact-checked and say, oh, I was wrong, because I'll have all the links down in the description saying this is where I got my sources, this is legitimate, what they have said, and whatnot. So have a wonderful day, guys.